This light sucks. Okay. I guess. My name is Christopher from the Earth Heart Experience, and we specialize in generalism and help people get from point A to point Z. So much is like happening like the past 2 months. I was talking about systems and damn near metamorphosis, order of operations. I need a retwist. If you haven't noticed by now, this is a fucking stream of consciousness. I know I wanted to talk about relationships. I just fucking dropped a song for the first time in like months. And the talking piece around it had a lot to do with the concept of like haters, like what makes a hater. And a lot of that shit is just like hubris. Like everybody thinks that they're good or that they're hot, or it's on the opposite end of the scale where they're like, oh, I'm shitty, I'm garbage at everything. And one of the conversations I had around this piece was like, just like for on social media in that context is like, if people are just looking at what you're doing and not commenting or engaging in any sort of way, it's like they fake. But then it's like, well, somebody could like you, but not like the shit that you put out there. And it's like they only show up because they fuck with you, but it's like you if you ask or request for your audience to engage, I don't know, a lot of us was taught if you don't have anything nice to say, then don't say it type shit. So it's like your request for engagement is either gonna yield negative feedback or it's gonna yield silence in that context, I guess. So I don't know, I just thought about it in the case where it's like, okay, say I am one of those people who just look at everything that you do just because like I'm looking at it, I'm subscribed to you on social media. I'm happy to see everything that you're doing because, you know, and you request for my engagement. Like say you DM me or hit me, reach out to me personally, and it's like I would love for you to engage with what it is that I'm putting out there, just to support what it is I'm doing. I need people to see that people are engaging with me. Social proof and all that. Monkey see, monkey do. But it's like, okay, um, just know that you're asking me, and it will look crazy to do that. Like, post your shit, for example, and if I don't like it, it's just like I post it because you asked me to, but I let everybody know that follows me because they trust me in my judgment. I let them know that this shit is garbage. It's like now I'm posting your shit and telling everybody that it's ass. So now it's like falls into that scenario where it's like I don't know, people talk about haters because it's like people are putting their time and energy into telling people that they dislike their stuff or hate what they're doing. Um, and it could easily be misunderstood as that. But then it's like, on the other hand, you asked me to engage with your work. So I don't know, should I just ignore you and then have to see you and then it'd be awkward because I didn't post your shit, but it's like I left you on red, or like, do I see you and it's awkward because I saw your shit, I posted it, and then I was honest with you about it. Like, I don't know. I feel like that's why people would be like, I love my haters, because it's like niggas will post their shit whether they like it or not. They'll talk about their shit whether they like it or not. And I don't know, I feel like a lot of my contemporaries, um, you know, are kind of in a space where they don't want to hear bad things or have bad reviews. It's like, you get a bad review, you just ignore it and only post or repost the good ones. And it's like, yeah, that's cool, but it's like, I don't know, some shit like the Better Business Bureau, where it's like, or Yelp, where niggas should be able to leave a bad review and it reflect on your business, because it's like, if you were a company that was selling some like consumables, and you're only reporting or marketing the things that make it good, or like the selling points, even if they're like false, it's like, there's so many people out here who dislike it because of the quality of the product. Like, kind of like fast fashion right now, with like the concept of like, I mean, well, fast fashion itself versus, um, quiet luxury brands. Um, where it's like brands that have little to no monograms or bright colors, or loud silhouettes. They're basic things like a long sleeve polo tee or a polo shirt, or just a long sleeve button up in general, some slacks or something like that, that are worth like $1,000+ because of the quality of the piece, um, versus something from like Shein or Fashion Nova or fucking Alibaba or AliExpress or some shit like that, that like has the potential to fall apart in less time than that $1,000 piece, because of the quality of not only the material but also the construction of it. Um, I'm in a place right now where I consider everything that's given to me in a short amount of time, because I don't know, at a certain point it becomes like a blindness for me to, kind of bypass anything that's of lower quality, and then ultimately focus in on things, and not even just focus in, specifically seek out things that are of a higher quality. Um, I don't know, and I feel like a lot of the people around me are not meeting that standard. Myself included, which is kind of why I feel like I am where I am, because it's like I'm working with what I have. I'm playing the hand that was dealt, and I don't know. It's like almost offensive to be honest with people. Um, I referenced this conversation I had with my mom in the last episode, or the last build, where I talked about the lack of experience due to um, choices made in the past. And I just remember that at one point in that conversation, it was just, I had mentioned the song that I created based on it, which had something to do with the fact that she expressed her displeasure um, of the fact that I even said what I said about the lack of experience because of the decisions that my elders have made leading up to that lack of experience. Damn, that sounded nutty because I feel like I just spoke in a circle. But e- either way, we made a song, and the first line was like, "You said you were offended. Oh, I told you the truth, and you said you were offended, or some shit like that." But it was like, you know, hold on, I got a song right fucking here. And now it's like stuck in my head. Damn, hold on, because it's right here. Give me a second. Yeah. 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 You told me the time that I told you the truth, had you feeling offended. You told me the time that I told you the truth, had you feeling offended. And it was like, damn, like you're just like, and it was like you're telling the truth, but I don't like the way you said it. But it was like my tone didn't change. It was just the fact that I was being direct and confident in what I was saying because I knew what I was talking about. And um, I feel that way about not just that aspect of my experience, but with a lot of things because I feel like a lot of people are just so focused in on things that validate their point of view. And I mean, as does everybody, because that's an egotistical thing and we operate from our ego despite what people think. Trying to kill the ego and shit like that. It's like trying to kill yourself at that point, physically. But that being said, it's like if you truly trying to preserve yourself, I imagine that you would look hard and long at your flaws to the point where there's nothing else to look at and only things to do about it. Because then what you begin to seek are things that would rectify those mistakes. Honestly, what they really are. Being wrong. It's like I had a conversation with a woman one time, and like I just cut that shit short. She was still talking. I remember I got out the car while she was talking. She thought I was dusting weed off my lap. I bent down, looked at her in the face. She's still talking. I just shut the door. It was like, okay, you said I was wrong. I agreed with you and said, okay, well, correct me then. She was like, no, you should already know. Like, no, you're wrong. And that's happened to me multiple times where it's like, okay, I'm wrong. Like, where do we go from here? Because it's like, are we going to just linger in the idea that I was wrong just for the sake of me being wrong? Or are we going to correct me so that I can change my trajectory and correct my path? Because that's really what needs to be happening. And I don't know, I feel like a lot of people are incompetent or illiterate and they don't want to rectify that. Like they don't want to correct that. And am I using the word rectify properly? Let's see. I'm using an etymological dictionary. Rectify. Uh, to cure, heal, remedy. Correct. So anyway, yeah, if a nigga's wrong, okay, cool, let him be wrong. But then, like, if they wanna change their course, correct their trajectory, like I said, then give niggas the tools as opposed to just lingering in the fact that niggas was wrong. Because I'm trying to figure out how I was wrong and get my math right. Hence the order of operations. Like, where did my math stop mathing? You feel me? Where did it stop adding up? Um, because we need to reverse engineer this, get to that point, like on some surgical shit. Surgery too is like, 'cause I think I did the surgery surgical. Uh, anyway, just getting to the point of things, and then like kind of slicing directly to that point, cutting it and cutting around it to be able to remove it, reconnect all the surrounding parts properly so that everything is flowing to where it needs to flow to, and then sealing it back up to protect it from, the elements. And then after that, fortifying it, making sure that it heals properly and, you know, does what it's supposed to do from here on out. And then not only doing that, but taking on a lifestyle that reflects this newly healed state so that it can become normal for the experience of the person who's been operated, or the thing that's been operated on. And I feel like this is almost like irrelevant as fuck, but like I said, this is like a stream of consciousness. And I look back at these and I always learn something. So, uh, that being said, circling back around to the social media thing, hater thing, it's just like, I don't know. There was a point also made where it's like it's not hating if you're telling the truth, and it's like, if you're telling somebody that they suck, subjectively it could be true, but then at what point do you question yourself to say, who am I? Like, what credentials do I have to say that this is poorly executed or that is distastefully done? Um, like, what credentials are even necessary to be qualified enough to make those sorts of judgments? And how do you acquire that status? Um, and I feel like too many people don't think about that. Like, it's just like, oh, I'm hot, or oh, I'm ass. Why? Because people said it, or because you know that there's a higher quality or a higher caliber of execution that exists that you're trying to reach, but you know, um, where you are in context to that. And one thing that I mentioned in the last build was being able to close the gap between where you are and where you want to be by removing the barrier that is time, which is movement. So literally moving into or becoming that thing, taking every step that's necessary and nothing more or less to get to that place, to be able to achieve that status, which will qualify you to judge a thing to a certain degree. Damn, that bust. Um, and too many niggas is not there. And I feel personally like I am there. Like, I feel like I have rhythm. I feel like I have groove. I feel like my timing is impeccable. It's almost like perfect. Um, I feel like my imagination works properly. I feel like my body is following suit. I feel like at the time of me making this, I should have been in my apartment, but I didn't get approved for it until 2 days ago. I was so close. The moving date, it was projected for the 15th of this month. I do these every seventh day of or on some bi-monthly shit. So every 2 months on the seventh day. So that's literally a week behind schedule. So hopefully, ideally, by the time this next one comes around, I will have been in my apartment for a good month and a half, maybe 2 months, month and a half probably. Um, and I'll be reporting on how I organize my space, um, probably configured it to um, have embedded a temple so that I had a space to conduct, I guess, like rituals that, um, speak symbolically to my subconscious mind, because the subconscious and unconscious minds communicate through images. Hence, when you're asleep, being unconscious, you dream, and your dreams are symbolic images. You feel me? Like visuals. Hence, like daydreaming. Um, being able to do shit like coordinate my closet in a way where it's like maybe color coded and sorted by shirts, button ups, sweaters, sweatpants, jeans, shorts, pajamas, accessories, hats, sneakers. Because even like, the four cardinal directions that correspond to the four elements. East is yellow, which is the sword, which is air, and the south is red, which is fire, and that's the spear. Um, I like to think of it. I mean, it's a projectile, so it's like the sword is air. It's like your tongue when you speak. Your spirit is breath. It literally translates to breath. So then you go to the south where there's the heat, the sun, red, fire. That's what that element is. So air and fire. Fire is the projectile. You fire your gun. You throw a fucking spear, and it's also a wand. It's like, but with a wand, it's like your finger. You point with that bitch to direct power. So it's like fire. You direct your, you feel me? Fire with your wand. I forget what that fucking one spell is from Harry Potter, but bitch, projectile electricity. Feel me? It's like shit like that. So I like to think about that shit as like a dart, because accuracy versus precision. That's like precision is how many times you can hit it in the same spot, but accuracy is when you can hit it on the bullseye. So you want to precisely be accurate. Like you want to be able to hit the target as many times as possible. But if you know what you're doing, if you're so precise and accurate at what you do, you can hit a hole in one. So now you're even talking golf. It's like I don't need multiple darts. I don't need multiple spheres. I don't need to do this more than once. I throw one dart and it hit the fucking bullseye dead in the middle. Like them shits in a movie where niggas shoot their bows and they'll hit the bullseye, then they'll shoot another bow and it split the first bow in half, and they'll keep doing that shit. It's like at that point you only really needed the one bow. It's overkill at that point. And that's where my head is with everything that I'm doing. It's like it's just accurate and precise to the point where it only looks like I really only needed the one dart. Like that's even more surgical, because a dart versus a sphere, you feel me? Sphere go far is heavy as shit, but that dart, like, I can throw that bitch and that shit little and it hit right on target. So yeah, that damn right on target is crazy because bullseye. And there's a target bag right in front of me, which is nuts. Red too is red. Crazy. And then also there's the south. I mean not the south, the fucking west, which is behind me. North is not in the front. East is in the front because that's where the sun rises. That's where the sun rises. And it sets in the west. So the west is this way. North is not this way. East is this way. North is that way. To my left. So yeah, there's west and that's behind me. And west is blue, that's water, that's a cup, a chalice, a grill. Feel me? Because once you direct all that power from the spirit, the word, the I want, the I desire, I will. It's like, okay, I will what? Then you point with the wand or the sphere or the dart. It's like that's the target, and I'm throwing it at the target. Feel me? That's that because the sword is the blade. That's the sharp part of the sphere. Like you attach the blade to the projectile, so you throw the projectile without hurting yourself. So east blade, south projectile. I put them together, right? For the target. The target is the cup. That's the west. That's blue. That's water. I want water. You take the water, the projectile, you throw in the water in the cup, you pour in the water in the cup, you throw in that bitch. Like, I mean, the cup collects it. So if you want something, the cup is going to hold that thing. Feel me? And then to the north, that's green, that's earth, and that's grounding it. It's giving it purpose. That's the shield. So you got your water in your cup because you wanted it, and your target was the cup. So now you directed the flow into a container that can hold it. And now you just kind of recognize what the purpose of that cup is and you use it for what it's for. Like you ground it, like you ground that shit. What is that? Gravity? Drink from the cup, it should go down. It's gravity, earth, green, north. That's inertia because the sun sets in the west. So the sun is already down north, nighttime, earth. It's like the sun is under the earth because now the moon is above it. Type shit. And what I mean by under the earth is underneath the horizon. East and west represents the horizon. South is above the horizon, clearly. That's noon, it's fire. North. Inertia, stillness in motion. You do all the work during the day. In the morning or when the sun rises, that dawn, when things dawn on you, it's like, oh, I should do this today because this needs to be done by the time I'm resting so that I can rest peacefully or rest um, with sanctity, with serenity. I need to do all the things that need to get done in order for me to rest without problems, rest comfortably, create a space that has the capacity for an experience that I want to have. You know, if you need water, you go get water. You need a comfortable place to lay your body and your head, you go get that. Mm. And then once you go get it, it's just like you just bask in that shit. And that's what North is about, inertia, Earth. Is really being able to bask in the facts. Like, bask in the work that you've done, enjoy the fruits of it, and rest. Just chill. Be able to be still. But first, you gotta know what you want. The sun has to rise. It has to dawn on you. If it hasn't dawned on you already. So let it dawn on you. Know what you came here to do. Go do it. And then take a break. Recharge. Rest. And do it till you can't no more. And have fun with that shit. Damn, like, don't trip. Like, release yourself with that shit. Like, all right.